Rwby Volume 5 was a really great, solid volume. There was highs and lows, many lows, but really great moments in this volume. However, in this volume, the characters were on and off for me. And what I mean by that is, some of them either lost their initial interest that I had in one of them, with, just being somebody that they're not, or they were just completely shattered by what I believe was bad writing. However, despite all that, there was one character in particular that really stuck out through the end of this volume. And that character is who we're talking about today. And the topic for that character is this character a redeemable parent? Of course, we are talking about the girl herself, the mother of Yang Xiaolong, the sister to Crow Branwen. That's right, we are talking about Raven Branwen, and if she is a redeemable parent. Now let's get into my reasons as to why I believe Raven is a redeemable parent, because if you just want my outright opinion, yes, I think she is a very redeemable parent. And what I mean by that is, she still has room to be there for Yang, and she still has room to become some kind of support pillar for Yang, even if it's not a motherly one. I believe she can change for the better. And to demonstrate my first point, I'm going to compare her to a character many might not see, very compelling reasons to compare her to, but there's one specific reason I'm going to do this, and that is for the sake of remorse. So I'm going to compare her to Adam Torres. Adam Torres is a man who believes what he is doing is right and for the right reasons. He doesn't care how it affects other people. He just believes what he's doing is right and just. He believes that destroying humanity and enslaving them, that it will solve the Faunus' problems. And he shows no remorse in doing it. Now, Raven, on the other hand, is a person who believes in strength. Even though you could argue the point she's not really strong, but just hear me out here. Raven believes in that the strong will live and the weak will die. And even though she's running away from Salem and, make other people take on her problems, she is very smart and she is very, very strong and powerful, whether you like it or not. You have to admit that outright. I mean, she's a maiden, and even if she internally, like emotionally, mentally, she may not be strong, she does know how to survive. Even if that means she has to look like a coward and someone who runs away from her problems. She knows how to survive. She knows how to just live her life the best way she thinks she can. And you cannot deny her of that. Now, going back to the whole remorse thing. And that is the main point of this comparison, the remorse thing. Adam shows no remorse in what he's doing. Whereas Raven, I'm going to point out a scene at the final episode of Volume 5, where Raven pretty much tells Yang that she's sorry. She's very sorry about, what she has done to Yang, that she has left Yang, and that... Now, she didn't say all this, but she said, "I'm sorry." And you can hear it in her voice. That maybe she doesn't regret it, but she does care about Yang, and that she does deeply feel sympathy and empathy towards Yang for abandoning her and making her life very, very difficult from a young age. Yet Raven very much but feels bad for Yang, and she does still care for Yang in her own way, whether you're willing to admit that or not. Now, the second argument for Raven being a redeemable parent is, I think there is a big difference between a terrible parent and a terrible person. Now, if you're a parent and you beat your child or your spouse, then I do believe you're both a terrible parent and a terrible person. But if you just up and leave your kid, then I don't believe you're a terrible person. Maybe you had your own reasons for leaving. Maybe you had some emotional stuff or some private stuff that took priority. Who knows? Maybe you just weren't cut out for being a parent. Who really knows? So I do think that there is a big difference between a terrible parent and a terrible person. And while Raven may be a terrible parent, I do not believe that from the bottom of her heart she is a terrible person. I think she is a very conflicted person. And what I'm about to say may not be the case in the future of Raven's character, but at the moment, this is my theory. Raven is a very conflicted character between two lives. She wants to live the life of her bandit tribe. The strong will live and the weak will die. She wants to maintain this self-image of strength and power, but she also wants to be there for Yang, and she deeply feels sorry towards Yang that she left because she felt like she had to pursue this other life. And now that she's come face to face with Yang, she wants to be there for her, and that's why at the end of Volume 5, at the after credits scene, my theory is that Raven is going to be speaking to Tai Yang and trying to find out which path she needs to take in order for her to, firmly confirm that she is doing the right thing. It's just a very conflicted character, Raven. She's very conflicted between two different lives. The life that will lead her to, care about herself and only herself and the tribe, or the life between Yang and being a proper good mother, or at the very least, a good support pillar for Yang. She is conflicted between these two lives and she just can't make her mind up, and she really needs to. However, you could also debunk this because we just don't know that much about Raven. It was hinted at that maybe Raven killed Summer Rose. So it's very difficult to really say if she's not just a bad parent but also a good person. It's very difficult, but I'm holding out hope that Raven is a good person, and I truly think that she is a good person from the bottom of her heart. She's just a very complex and conflicted person. Now, like I said, maybe Rooster Teeth won't go this direction, but at the moment, that's the only way I can see her character going, if there's any sort of redeemable qualities for her as a parent. This is the only way I can see it going. And those are the points that lead me to believe Raven is not necessarily a unredeemable parent. Adam Torres is a man who cannot redeem himself because he's done too much wrong and he's stuck in his ways. He just can't redeem himself at this point. He recently just killed the High Leader of the White Fang, for Christ's sake. You cannot be redeemed from that point forward. But Raven is a redeemable parent. She's not necessarily a bad person. She feels remorse for leaving Yang. And if she showed mercy to the Spring Maiden, and if it is as Raven says, then yes, I do believe she's a redeemable parent. She's a survivor. She's merciful. She has remorse. And she's not necessarily a bad person. All these qualities lead me to believe Raven is a redeemable parent. Now, I'm going to point out right now, I'm not a very good person when it comes to explaining reasons. I'm not. But I think you can, if you generalize what I'm saying, I think you can understand where I'm coming from. I think you can generally get where I'm coming from. And hopefully that will give you more perspective into Raven's character. Again, my apologies. I'm not that great at explaining things. I'm not that great at trying to exploit all of this. I'm not that great at it. So, yes, I believe Raven is a redeemable parent and a more complex character than we might think. And I hope you guys can agree with me. And I hope you guys, even if you don't agree with me, can, have a discussion with me about it. After all, this is a long-awaited Rwby discussion that I have been sorely lacking in for a couple months now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like it. And yeah, that's really about it. If you like this video rated 1 through 10, Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that fun crap, and as always, this is your boy, Nick Branwen, out with the yay!